Hey, it's day 2, unit 4. We are doing Google data visualization in this video. So for this project, you're going to create your own survey using Google Forms. You're going to have people fill it out. You're going to create a data visualization for it. Here is an example of it, and it looks like this. This came from a form where I asked people what their name was, and then I asked them what their favorite shape was, circle or square. So you're going to do something just like that. Here is the database that was made from it. You can see that this started in 2019, and I was the first person to answer my own survey. And then I was really into a certain TV show you might recognize the characters from at that point. And then we went on through the COVID epidemic here. 2020, these people were taking the class then. 2021 classes, 2022 classes. So I'll find the link for this. I'll provide the link for this, and you can add your names to it. This was the Google form that I used. Feel free to fill it out. And there's the spreadsheet that got created from it, and then my code to visualize it. You are going to make a Google form with some questions. Here's an example of another Google form that I made. So I asked, what makes you happy? What are you thankful for? And put your name here. So you can do that too. To make a Google form, if you're not sure how to do it, you just go to Google Forms. Just type that into Google and you'll see this. You're going to need a Google sign-on. You're going to need a Google sign-on. Then you'll click on this, blank, and then you can title it whatever you want. My winter survey. And then you can put something there if you want. So what is your favorite dessert? And you can add some options. It can be a short answer, or you can have multiple choice, or you can have a drop down. I think I might do a drop down for this. Cake. Okay, maybe I won't have an option 5. And then you need to add another question. Oops, there's an extra option there, which I don't want. So you can this is pretty intuitive. So you are going to need at least 3 questions. You might want people to be able to put their name in. So name. And look, this automatically kind of changes to the short answer, so that's neat. And you can also make that required, and you probably want to make this one required too. When you're done with this, let me see, what's another one? So there. So when you're done with creating a survey, and you're going to have to think, this is actually where like the hard part comes in, is to try to think of something that you actually care for people to answer. So and provide answers for people, or you'll have to actually decide what people might care about. So here you can customize it actually, but you can also preview it. So I would say click on this when you're ready, and then you can preview it. Oh, my favorite is this, and then I can write Rose, and then you can hit submit. I can click submit another response too. So you can take your own survey a bunch of times if you want. So the next thing to do is to share your survey. Let's see. So I'm going to go back to where I was making my survey here. Once you've taken your survey at least one time, and I want you to share this with people on the Discord, please, so you get it filled out. But once you get this, once somebody answers, you're going to see this up here. You're going to see responses and then settings. So I'm going to go back to my notes here. See the next. So we're going to answer your form. Please send it to some friends. Put it on the Discord. Click on responses and go to the spreadsheet icon, and then enable sharing. So there's kind of information on how to do that here. You're going to click on share. You're going to make sure that anyone with the link can view. So let's do that right now. Let's follow my instructions. So go to responses. Let's see. Oh, look at. So I've got one response, and it can give me a breakdown of all of the things that I asked people. Now what I want you to do is go to this create spreadsheet. So you're going to click on that, create spreadsheet, and create a new spreadsheet. Hit create. Then here what you're going to do is you are going to click on share, and then you have got to change this, like I said, to anyone with the link can view. Then hit done. Okay, we're halfway there. So we did this. Now we are going to do this. So now we've kind of got a survey here. If you decide to add more to it, you can. You can go back to questions here. You can go to preview, and I'll choose something else. I'll choose cake, and I'll choose a new hope, and I'll have Luke because that would be his favorite. Maybe I'll do another response too. I'm just gonna stack my. There's a yogurt here. Return of the Jedi. No, Empire Strikes Back, and I'll have Yoda since his name sounds like yogurt. Great. So I can go here, and then I could look. So now I want to see my answers again. So if I go back to where I was creating this, I see I have 3 responses now. So that's pretty cool, and they're split. And then I can go here again too. So then I can go here again. So that's nice. So if somebody puts a swear word in your survey or something, you can delete it if you want. It doesn't matter. You can change this. Now we're going to modify the code so it works with your. We're going to use my code. We're going to modify it so it works with your spreadsheet. So let's follow along. So click on this starter code, and let's make sure. I'm going to duplicate this. Make sure that it runs, and then okay, so I see that this is connected to a different spreadsheet than the one I was just showing you, but it talks about different things. So I'm going to connect this to the new spreadsheet. So this is what it should say when you run it too. And if you look down here, I've got all of the information coming out here. So each one of these little objects is displayed here. Later on, what you're going to do is you're going to make these things move across the screen. So let me explain how this code works. Let's take a look here. So we've got, just like we had a cars array, we have a bubbles array, because bubbles another kind of starter object-oriented coding thing. So we'll have a bubbles array this time, and then we have a URL. Just like when we had with the Google, or just like we had with the weather data, we're going to have a URL to call this information to. That's this here, and I'm going to show you. This key is set up for my form, for a special form, and we are going to change this for yours. We're going to change this key to yours, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. So in the setup, here's load JSON, just like in the weather data, just like load image and load font. Now we have load JSON, JavaScript object notation, and this is going to be the URL here. And we've got a callback that will run GoData when that information comes back to us. Meanwhile, we're creating a canvas that's 600 by 600. We've got this stuff going on here. So the function GoData, what that's doing is it's printing here to the console. It's printing out all the information that came back. So that's going to be really key for us. And then so you'll know that it's working when this information is the information that you have. Right now, this is the information from another spreadsheet of mine, another survey of mine. But when you run this and you've got the right key in here and it has your information, then you get to pat yourself on the back and jump around and do the happy dance, because then you're halfway there. You're halfway to finishing the project, okay? So let's go back here. So what else do we have? So in the GoData, when the data comes back, we're printing it to the screen so we can check it. Then what we're doing, data comes back as an array. So you guys have seen this before. This is one of those iterate through an array. So we're iterating through the array. We're pushing a new bubble, just like we pushed a new car. We're pushing a new bubble onto the bubbles array, and we're putting this data in, and this is the stuff that you're going to change. So you're going to change this to your column name. So you'll do that with me in a second. Then here's the end of the setup. So, that's the end of the GoData. And here's the draw. So the draw loop is just making a blue background, which you'll change, and it's just iterating through the bubbles array, and it's just doing a display method on them, just like our cars. Here's the bubble class. Here's the constructor. So constructor has got some parameters in it. That's kind of neat. Those are going to be they're going to be nicknames for the names of your columns. So my columns for this, where I was saying what makes you happy, what are you thankful for, and put your name here, right? So yours are going to be different because you've got different questions. But then you're going to change this code too. So what this is doing is it's putting what we stuck in the constructor here. So here's the constructor. It's putting data. This is kind of hard to understand if you've never coded before. You're just going to have to kind of trust me. So this is pulling in people's answers, like for however many lines of the form there are. It's pulling in people's answers, and then it's creating a bubble, like a car class with these attributes. So it's whether, it's what makes you happy, what makes you thankful, and then your name. And then it's giving, look at this dot pos, you've seen that before. It's giving a random placement to these things, right? So yay. And then here's the display method. So the display method, which we're calling here, that was the new bubble, right? When we did new bubble, that was calling the constructor. And then in here, in the draw loop, we're displaying the bubbles. So we're displaying every bubble. So we're making a red stroke. So that's what you see around here. We're having no fill. And then we have an ellipse with the X and Y position of each bubble. And they're 120 by 120. We're filling white. Everything underneath is going to be filled white, and we're just printing out the information that we got. So we're going to change that. And then this is the first line in the text. This is the first argument in the text command. And then here's the X and the Y. And that is it, my friends. So let's take a look at what some other students have done. Here are some students from the fall 2022. So here you can see, I think this also, this person asked people what made them happy also. And it looks like they asked them, do they communicate with WhatsApp or Instagram or Twitter? So you can see. And these have movement. So I'll show you how to do that in a second. Here's another one. This student was really into this crazy cat. I'm going to unmute it. You can hear there's music too for whatever reason. Zoom in really close here. You can see, yeah, there's very tiny writing in here. Yeah, let's get rid of that. So this student says, hello, welcome to Green Meadow. Click within the area to begin. Appearance of each animal here is an avatar predefined by answers of survey participants. So you click on the animal to learn what the participants chose to answer when they were prompted to type anything that comes to their mind. So with anything, so that's neat. That's me. I wrote Rose, I guess, and then I'm gonna rerun this again. So there's a donkey there. You click on that. Oh, that's me. I think somebody here's the Fitnessgram pacer test. Some of you may know what that is. That might have been my kid who answered that. So this one's really beautiful too. And here's another one. So I see some video game names in here. It looks like what people like Call of Duty or Minecraft, and dogs or cats. Why it's got this flag and Google, I'm not sure, but I'm sure there's a political statement in there somewhere. So you get to do, now let's modify our code, and then you get to decide what you want your final data visualization to look like. So here. So what we need to do, let's find our code here. Here's the code, and right now we have my information from my other spreadsheet in here, right? So what makes you happy? What are you thankful for? And your name here. So we want to see your information there. And I'm going to do this with you, and I'm going to use my new spreadsheet that I just made, right? So my new spreadsheet was about Star Wars. What you need to do here is you need to find this key, and let's see what my information says. So modify the code, find the spreadsheet's key in the URL between the /d and the /edit, and you paste that into the sample code. So between the /d and the /edit. Here is what I'm talking about. So you need to copy, this is the key. Don't ask me how I figured this out. But after this slash, see the d slash, see that right there, d slash? You're going to start copying from that one Y and go until where it says /edit. So I'm going to try to do that right here. Just that. You got to be real careful, okay? Only that. And then copy is Command or Control C. and then go into your code and you could make a copy of this line if you want, but I'm just going to blow this away. So take this. Actually, I'd make a copy of it. So I'm going to comment this out. I'm going to say let key equal, and then I've got to have quote marks, and then I'm just going to paste Command V. That's it. Semicolon at the end. So now I have, this is the key to my new spreadsheet, this Star Wars one. So when I run the code now, and you guys are going to do this too, when I run this code, I won't see anything here. Or, it's kind of neat. I do see something here, but you'll probably see nothing here. That's okay. What you want to see over here is you want to see, oh, what's your favorite dessert and your favorite Star Wars story? Yay, this is great. So that's what you want to see. You want to see your information right there. If you do not see your information there, you either copied this key wrong, or more likely you did not go to share and make sure that this says anyone with the link can view. It probably says restricted. It's got to say anyone with the link, and then you have to hit done. So make sure you do that. So like I said, if you see your information here, we're halfway there. Yay. So now what we have to do is, you see your data in the console, you're halfway there. Okay, now we got to get the code working with our data. We're going to have to make some changes. Around line 30, the bubbles push line, we have to change to our column names. So you're going to have to change all this stuff. That is here. So around, what did I say, around line 30 here? Yeah, right here. Instead of what makes you happy, mine is what is your favorite dessert. You have to copy this. Do not try rewriting it, because you won't capitalize it right or something. So in fact, sometimes there's a space in there too. So I would just copy that. So Command C, learn your key strokes before you leave class. So this one's going to be that. Paste it exactly that way. The second one, and I would suggest just doing 3 questions. Favorite Star Wars story, same thing. I'm going to copy and paste here. And then over here, last one was your name. And then go back to here. I have your name here, but for this one, it just said name. These need to match the spreadsheet. Now go down a little bit further here, and here you've got to kind of match these because these, when you're creating this bubble, you're putting these 3 kind of arguments in. So the first one was a dessert, the second one was Star Wars, and the third one was name. And these cannot have a space in them. So dessert, I'll just write dessert. For this one, I'll write star, because it cannot have a space, star. And then here I'll write name. I've got name, and I'm going to remember that I've got it all lowercase. And so the order of these matters here. These are passing parameters. I remember learning this. It was not in my 4th week of coding. It was like my 2nd year of coding. I remember learning, finally understanding this. So just trust me. But it's the order here. When we call new bubble, we're calling this constructor, and each one of these is kind of what's called passing a parameter in here. So now we've got dessert, and so we'll have to rename this dessert, and so every bubble will have a dessert attribute, a Star Wars attribute, and a name attribute. So we've got to change this dessert. This one will be Star Wars. I'm going to name that Star Wars there, but this has got to be star, because it's got to match. The bubble will have an attribute of Star Wars, but we're passing this parameter in it, so it's called star. And I'll keep this as name. And position, yeah, I'll keep that. And you know what else? I'm going to add a velocity. Equals create vector. Random. I'm going to make these just go across the screen. So my x will be just like random 3, and then my y will be 0. My y component will be 0. So for the display method now, we have an x, we have a this.pos x, we have a this.pos y, but we do not, we have a name. We do not have a this.happy though, so we got to change this to this.starwars. Star Wars. And the next one, another one was dessert, this dot dessert. So these are the attributes. So they are this. They are not this. They are these things. And I might be really close here, so I think I'm going to run it now. I'm going to stop it, save it, and run it. And it worked. It worked. Yay. I'm so happy. I can't believe it. So let's give these a little bit of movement here. So remember, we had a move method. We actually, I think we don't need to make a move method. We can make them move within the display method. So the move method was just adding the velocity to the position. So this dot pos dot add this dot vel, right? If I run it now, they're going to go across the screen. Yeah, but they're going to keep going across the screen, right? Because I need to add that extra code here. So if this dot pos dot x is greater than width, because they're only going to the right, I can just do this dot pos dot x equals 0. I don't like the way that looks. There. Ugh. That's better. Okay. Let me run it. And they're looping just like that. And they have random heights too, so that's nice. Okay. One extra note, I'm just going to check I know it's working now, but I'm going to check my beginning and ending curly bracket for my if is like that. This one is the end of the display, and this one will close out the class. Yeah. All right, Google Data, Unit 4. Look at, you made it all the way to Unit 4. And it looks like this. So create your own Google survey and create a program using P5.js that reads and displays the data from it. Use my example if you want, but modify it. Five points for providing a link to your survey. 5 points that your program works, and 5 points that it looks a little different than my program. Post 2 links here, your Google Data link to your program, and then your link to your survey. So your link to your survey is this, so I can take your survey. Not this, sorry. It's this, send. Send via email. It's this link. You can even send me a shortened URL, and this you can post on the Discord if you want to. You should do that, because I'll be real happy when I see that. So that's the link to your URL. So you've got to make sure you send that, and then you've got to send the link to your visualization, which looks like this. It's this thing. Awesome. Well, that's it. We're getting pretty close to done. The next thing that we're going to do is called the gyro. We're going to use the gyroscope in your phone. So it's going to respond to what angle and whether or not you shake your phone. That's going to be the next project, and it's going to be based off of your MP3. All right, have a good day.